Yo, welcome back, guys, to another video. Shroud Shoe, whatever you want to call me. Today, I'm going to be talking about a specific subject in mind. I'm going to be going over the importance of movement in this video. And I'm going to be talking about the underlying factors on why movement is so important. And I'm going to be going over the misconception that people have about movement, that it's more than just moving your joystick a little bit. So, in this video, I'm going to be covering the factors of movement. I'm also going to be showing a video on why it's important. And I'm going to be explaining a little bit about what movement truly is in the eyes of the people. So, first, I'm going to go over what is movement. Well, to put it simply, there's all these forms of movement, but all overall, it is just moving your character. Like this is just a form of movement. But what I'm going to be showing you guys is the layers of why movement is so important. And to show you that, I'm going to be showing you uh, just just the important things about it and why it's so important. So, well, people would ask me, Shroud, what do you mean by the misconceptions of movement? Well, let me tell you guys. So, typically, when people tell you how to get better or like how to improve, they typically would go and follow along the lines of, oh, yeah, just get better block timing, like perfect your angles. That is like only half of the equation. If not half, probably like 25% of the equation. That they are just telling you half of what you want to know. The truth of how to really understand the game and really dissect your play style and how you play the game is their movement, because that is the first priority. That is the first target that matters more. Your movement is what seals the game for you. And if you have good movement, you basically have everything else in order. So this is to tell you that understand your priorities of the game first and then move down the chain as you go. So, yes, block timing, angles are, they're important and they matter, but that is not the priority. That is not the priority, and it's not the source of how you get really good at the game. It is movement. It is the only thing that separates you from other people. That is like the notable factor that sells you from other people. So do not forget that. Anyways, what I'm going to be is my little thing I created, importance of movement. Now, pay attention to all of these key factors that I've laid down for you. Killer spots. So what this means is basically what a killer spot is. It is like the perfect position you can possibly have going into it's the perfect position you're going into the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the perfect form of containment. It's like spots where you want to be in this position where it matters the most. I'll show you an example in a second. What I would be talking about. So, in this instance, pay attention to what I'm talking about. Killer spots. This is what I'm talking about. So, so stop. So right here, snippet. Right here, this is what I talk about. This is an example of a killer spot. Where I'm at on the field, he has to try to reach me. And I'm in the position where now I can control this game. Because either he has to bite here, I can go here, or he bites back and I just go back. So right here, I'm at a killer spot. This is what I'm talking about. Like be over here, like right at the center of his shoulder. That's what I call killer spots. Sorry, my handwriting is bad. This is a killer spot. you are right at the outside of their shoulder, and you have the ability to do whatever you please with that. So let's see the play. Now I have perfect positioning. I have perfect push off. I have like the perfect push off positioning, and I was able to get that push off because I was in that killer spot. You always want to be like a little bit outside of their block angle, and you want to get that little like oomph with your arms, and you want to indicate where their arms are at to get that perfect push off. So that is what is like known as like a textbook push off. And I also say to that, that is the example of a killer, like getting to your killer spots, getting to your spots on the field and making them count. That is like the perfect description of what a killer spot is, basically. So, yeah. So, LS discipline. Now, Shroud, what is LS discipline? Well, LS means less stick. So that means discipline. And what LS discipline is basically, to sum it up, it's just like movement discipline. Basically having the ability to understand like if something doesn't work, or if something happens, your ability to reposition and actually act according to the play is important. So let's pay attention to what I did in this clip. Let's slow it down for y'all so y'all can get a better understanding of what I'm saying. So in this clip, we're gonna be demonstrating my movement, like my pure movement. So this play, I get to my killer spots, and I'm right outside his shoulder, as you can see. So let's pay attention. So what did we talk about? What did we talk about here? Outside of their shoulder, what we call KS, killer spots. So now that we're in our killer spot, you could be a little bit more outside here to get that perfect angle, but it's still like a killer spot. It's still a good spot to be in. So we're in that killer spot, so we miss, but we notice the QB pushes up instantly, so we move to threaten the split. Now, this is a misconception a lot of people don't understand. People will come at me and will argue with me saying, "Oh yeah, you should have come closer." Well, here's the problem with that, Timmy. There is a huge problem with that. I'm just gonna save this as a taskbar. Well, there's a huge problem with that, Timmy. What's that, Shroud? This guy's right here. So we can't do that because he can just move around, turn his angle, and we're just laned. So what do we do after? We disengage. That's what I call discipline. Understanding when to engage the presence of the split and disengage at the perfect time. Slack calls it pathways. I just call it disengaging and re-engaging at the right time. Right here, then we pull back. He misses us at that moment, and we just pull back. And now he has to try to reach me again, and I don't make contact again because it's useless. I already have the outside dominance. I already have the outside. There's no point in re-engaging back with the contact. It's just ego. That's called ego sheds. We do not want to do ego sheds. So he reaches me a little bit there, but it's useless. So it doesn't matter anymore. I do a little bit of a block just to scare him off. And yeah, that's basically the discipline. So understanding when to engage and disengage at the right time, and understanding what matters in that instance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right. Next, we got importance of positioning. Now, like I was talking about, so we're not talking about the killer spots anymore. So we understand that we got to our killer spot, but the reason this works so well is we got to our killer spot, but the angle we chose is aiming here. This is where the angle is pointing at. If our angle was over here, we probably wouldn't have got the push off that easily. So let's pay attention to the push off, the block itself. So look at the block itself. We're aiming at the shoulder. Or if you want to be more specific, the upper corner of the torso, because technically the shoulder has no hitbox. So if you want to get geeky, we're aiming at the torso technically. But this arm is pointing at this, and then we're pushing off of this. That is why the push-off works so well. Because look, we aimed at his shoulder, and it caused him to get off of us, basically. So we're off his shoulder, and we reach that perfect positioning to then recontain and push Linner back. So I just do this little like jump thing and everything to cut off. So yeah. So that is the positioning. So the killer spots are how you utilize your movement. The positioning is the angle you take in which you block at a certain amount of time. So go back to the screenshot, right? So again, we reach the arms at the shoulder. Before initially we were right here with our killer spots, but our angle was facing towards the arms. So we perfectly indicated where the arms were, and we pushed off accordingly to that. So in that process, we created like the perfect positioning to get off the block, and we initiated the spot in order to get that like the full extent of the push off, basically, as what I call textbook push off, utilizing the killer spots like I talk about and utilizing positioning like I was talking about. So it's combining both movement and the importance of positioning to accordingly get that push off. Like I always how you need good movement to dodge bosses, but you also need good angles to attack in like Elden Ring, right? Where like some like let's take for example Malenia is a really fast boss that you need to one have good angles for and two good movement. You don't want to move in the wrong place or you just get hit every time. So it's important to understand positioning and understanding how well your movement has to be in those positions, because you need to have good movement to have good position. They need to combine, they need to interconnect. They do not need to be separate. They are separate terms by concept, but they need to interconnect in this scenario. So it's important to understand that in this instance. Now, this is not only for like DE, and I'll come back to this in a second. I will talk about offense soon when the later concepts come up, but in this instance, positioning is best used and best suited for DE. And I will always preach this and advocate for this always. So yeah, this is also for positioning as well. Now, understanding layers. This is a concept a lot of people don't understand, and I'm going to be explaining to you this right now. So layers, what I talk about is first the layer, like if the first block doesn't work, what now? For example. So we're gonna be going over layers. We're gonna be going over this play. So in this play, there is Falcon is instant mid split QB. His whole thing is splitting up instantly and looking for pre-fires down like the middle, down. It's basically just a Slack concept, like what Slack told us about like mid space and how broken it is and how it can be utilized. It's basically just how his fear of just it being used in the long run. So I came up with a way to create uptime, and this is not like an original thing. I kind of just came up with the concept that if the first layer doesn't work, like let's say like you want to just push off people, right? You want to just push off people. If that first layer doesn't work, then let's try again. Let's try again. Let's try to think of another way, right? So in this play, we're going to be going over, look, so I get held and I can't do anything, and it's just an instant play. I can't see anything to that. So what I first do now is I have to think to myself, well, so if he insta splits all the time, then there has to be a window where I can just get in his face without being punished by the center. So let's think about it rationally. Once this plays over, let's see what I do now. I think this play, let's see what I do now. Right here. So instead of going for a push off, like I usually do, because I know Falcon's going to push up. In this play, usually what people would do is, because look at Conti's angle. He's going this way, so that indicates Falcon's probably going to go this way. In this instance, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go this way. No, it's just going to open up the split more, and Falcon's just going to sit middle again. So that's not what I would want to be doing. So in this play, what I do next, let me slow it down for y'all. I jump immediately. So what I do next is figuring out that second layer. What do I do now? So in this instance, what I did was I jumped as soon as I thought Falcon would push up. So if Falcon pushes back, because I see Matthews over here, so he already has a split. So it's a lose-lose. So I basically guard the back, and I have a free hurdle right here. So watch. So Matthew drops back, I stop Conti, and basically it was a matter of creating my space for me. So what layers basically are is it's the first play indicating that something happens, and then the second layer is, well, once this is stopped, what now? So the first layer was Conti sets a split angle, Falcon pushes up instantly. The second layer is, okay, if it backfires, what now? So this is the indicator, what now? This is when it's like doesn't happen anymore. So basically I beat the second layer, and there's going to be plays where still he hit the pass, but still it matters about the layer. You have to understand that. It matters. So yes, he completed the pass, but it's also important to understand like how the game is supposed to be played out and understanding the layers of the game, and to keep on note of that as you go on. So we're going to be still watching this game, and we're going to be just looking through like the first one, second one. It's right here. So I do the attack again. I pre-fired when Falcon pushes up again. I got it off. Reach him. Then he reaches me. Now, in this instance, normally what people would do is they would keep on moving. They would keep on moving, and Slack notices that I'm getting reached, so he goes in to try to cut off. Normally people would continue moving, and Conti would be able to get us both off. But what I do instead is I start picking him. And it allows Slack to cut off for me. And it allows Falcon to jump, which is huge for a QB, because if they jump, that means like a lot of the passes that they would hit jumping are limited. So realistically, he only has like LOS to throw. So just because I understood that the first layer of the game is now completed and the second layer comes in, I need to act in accordance to the team. I can't just go for the sack and just ego it and try to get a big play. I need to act in accordance to the team. So picking is important as well to help out with that second layer. So this is why picking centers, cutting off, all of that is so important, because once the first layer is done and the second layer comes in, a lot of people just don't understand what to do after that. People don't even understand the importance of cutting off, which is pretty sad to me. But that's what I'm here for. So yeah, that's the importance of layers. You guys got that? Correct form. All right, correct form. Now, for this one, we're going to be talking about the form itself. So we're not going to be talking about the killer spots, the positioning on the arms. We're going to be talking about the form, because that's what matters. So right here, hold up, let me go back to a different play. Hold on, let me go back to like a split second. Right here. Let me slow it down like a lot. So right there. So you notice my arms, basically, they went from here to here. And a lot of people, what they do is they do this, then they go here, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. The form is basically you push in, then you push out. Oh, that's a horrible drawing. Push in, push out. Whatever. You guys get the idea. So, and then like this, you guard the outside, and then you can do whatever you wish with this amount of space. So the form is basically You go this. I think that's clockwise. You basically just go clockwise and you go counterclockwise when you're playing. So just remember the form. Push in, block out. If you wanted to go for the inside shoulders, push in and then push inside. Push outside, push outside. You guys get the idea. There's not a lot to talk about in form. It's just understanding the fundamentals of knowing what you're going for, inside or outside. Just knowing what you're going for, pretty simple enough. I don't really need to talk about this as much as the other concepts. So you guys get the idea. Timing of the hands. Very important. Hint. Second block. Always. Second block always. I'm going to highlight this too. Second block always. What do I mean by that, Shroud? What do you mean by second block? Look at his hands. Before the play even began, before the push-off even began, he must, answer with me, guys, he must block first. He must block first, or the push-off doesn't work. He must block first. That is the rule of everything. Your movement can be good. Your positioning can be good. It can help you out a lot. But the rule of blocks, the rule of the game, he must block first. Because that opens his arms for the cooldown. It goes down, and that is where the magic happens. He must block first. So now we hit our block, which is the second block, which is what I talk about. Second block always. That is how this happens. That is the misconception. They'd be like, yeah, block when they block. No. Second block. Always. Always the second block. Always make sure your block is second to theirs, or there is no push-off. There is no push-off. Always. And if you're the first, that's what it's called, an ego push-off. Just remember that. Second block. Adjustment after failure, that also goes into layers. So I'm not going to talk about this too much. Basically what this is just adjusting. Like, it's like recovery sheds, basically. So in this play, this is a good example. It's not the best example. Honestly, not really the best example, but this is a good example of what I'm talking about. So right here, I get the push off. So let's talk about, so what did we talk about? Second block, what did we talk about? KS, positioning, second block. We talk about all of these things. Second block, KS, positioning, second block. Now this is an example of discipline, LS discipline. So you notice the QB going up, adjusting quickly, don't get it in time, but we adjusted to the point where we know it's useless, but we still contest. Still useless, but we still contest. So we still play on it even if we don't get it. So understanding that, just quick adjusting before you then make a read, basically. So yeah. So what are killer spots? Basically, what we talked about is being outside of the center of shoulders. Being outside of the center of shoulders. LS discipline, what do we talk about? Discipline of movement. Importance of positioning. What did we talk about? What is positioning? Basically, knowing where you are placed on the field, or in other words, knowing where you are on the field. Knowing where you are on the field. Understanding layers. If something doesn't work, what next? So understanding layers. So you pass the first layer, now know where to go next. Knowing the correct form. Basically, outside equals outside of the shoulder, outside the QB space, inside. All right, inside of the QB's space. So for this is inside. Hello. All right. So this is inside, understanding the forms. So for timing of the hands is the center blocks first. Has to block first. Adjustment after failure basically means that just reposition after the first layer is done. It's like a continuation of like understanding layers, but this is just the adjustment part, like what the action of doing it. Reposition after it, then start over. And then fight the next battle. Like, what's next? Like, what are we doing now? So basically repositioning, and yeah, that's basically the summary of movement. And to be honest, like, the space is, like, honestly, the OLD community, the space is growing. So, like, I understand that a lot of people, like, they want to learn really quickly on how that comprises and works out. And I honestly want, like, y'all to get better. Like, I know I'm not trying to, like, make this video just to be like, oh yeah, I'm better than y'all. Like, y'all should worship me. No, bro. I'm trying to get y'all. I'm trying to get y'all on the right page, and I'm trying to get y'all in, like, a certain length, like wavelength. Like, y'all. How am I best explain this? Y'all are like. Y'all want to learn. Y'all want to get better, but you guys constantly make it worse on yourselves if you continue to become, what's the right word, blindsided by what you want to believe from other people that don't know what they're talking about. So I'm gonna make a video on, like, differently on offense, because I didn't cover offense a lot more. So I'll cover that like pretty soon. Like, probably, honestly, in a week or two. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Like and comment what else you want. And yeah, just like and comment and let me know what y'all want. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.